So what is it really? 10 quant or 20,000 HBAR? Which is the best investment and why? I think that last part is very important. I think people tend to say one or the other without any supportive evidence. And I think this video should hopefully give you a lot more clarity into why I've chosen one over the other. Now, guys, ultimately, the question should pretty much be, where would you rather put $1,000, right? Because right now, at the current price, it's pretty much both $1,000. But as we should all know, these projects are pretty close to being the exact same in terms of how quality they really are. And I think either of them are a good buy, but today is going to be the real true answer, okay? So before we get into the video, I want to quickly say something very important. As I kind of alluded to at the start of the video, this ain't gonna be like every other QNT and HBAR video. Today, guys, you're gonna know exactly which one is better, 10 QNT or 20,000 HBAR. And ultimately, as I said, where would you rather put $1,000? Well, for starters, let's just keep it off nice and basic, okay? So obviously, Quant is focused on interoperability, right? These guys are focused on connecting the world. And on the other side of things, HBAR is a general purpose layer 1 blockchain. So when I use the two words general purpose, they are used for general type things, okay? Now, the beautiful thing about HBAR is it's unlike its competitors, right? Because essentially, even though it is general purpose, the hash graph, which is its technology that kind of separates it from its competitors, is so damn unique and it's novel to HBAR that it does stick out like a sore thumb and can be used as a general purpose blockchain and be suited for so many, if not all, niches ever, okay? So, of course, Quant's unique aspect, right, its point of difference is its agnostic API. Okay, it's what it can connect to, which is everything, and that hasn't been done before. Okay, so we're going to get into the implications of this in just 1 second. So the markets, what are we dealing with? How much money and kind of how hard is it going to be to penetrate? Well, let's start off with QNT, okay? These guys focus on the private and public sectors. That's the enterprise, public side of life, like the economy, and the public sector is like the government agencies and things like that, okay? Now, this processes trillions of dollars every day, at least it's the economies all around the world, right? And its disruption, in my opinion, this is Quant's disruption into this market, is actually easy, okay? And the reason is because it's the only overledger. Agnostic APIs, it hasn't been done before, guys. There's no single application or sort of software that allows this connection between legacy systems, private networks, anything all in one place that's easy to do, that can connect with all of that. So that is why, in my opinion, Quant has a massive market that's easily penetrable because it's so unique. On the contrary, we have HBAR, right, focusing mainly on the private sector. Now, I want to say it can have public sector implications, right? It can be, of course, used in terms of like governments, creating like their own sort of software in the back end that obviously uses the hash graph itself instead of a blockchain. But I think its main focus is the private sector, okay, the public side of things. And again, I'm kind of mixing the words up. When I say public side of things, I mean the economy, right? General enterprise implementations. Also, it processes billions per day, in my opinion. Yes, it's not trillions, it's billions once it gets to that level. And in my opinion, disruption is average. It's not easy, it's not hard, but it's average because it is the only hash graph. Now, the analogy I like to use for Hedera is, for example, if there were, a lineup of 100 sort of people and 99 were pink and 1 was green, what one are you going to look at first? So you're going to look at the green guy first and go, hang on, why are you here? They stick out like a sore thumb, and that's HBAR, right? Because of its hash graph. So if you're an enterprise looking to use a DAG or a blockchain or a hash graph, what are you going to pick that is like the really sticky out sore thumb here that has all these massive bonuses? You're going to pick the hash graph. At least look at it first, okay? And that's Hedera, in my opinion. Again, if you look at Quant's on a whole league of its own. There's no competitors to Quant. So that is why it has a very easy time disrupting these markets, in my opinion. So is it market fit yet? Well, let's start off with QNT, right? Quant has an easier time disrupting a larger market. That's huge. Let me reiterate and repeat what I just said. Quant has an easier time disrupting a larger market. It's Miley Cyrus at this point. It's getting the best of both worlds, okay? Whilst mainly being the middleman in operations. So we're going to wrap in kind of what this actually means when I explain HBAR in a minute. The product market fit, I deem, is going to be between 2030 and 2035. And at this point, I strongly believe the market cap of Quant will be in the multi-billions or a single trillion market cap level. And I'm very firm on that. I definitely believe that can actually happen because of some of the recent updates that have happened with Quant. And ultimately, the reason why I started 2030 is because Quant will definitely be used in CBDCs connecting the public and private sectors. So, of course, it's going to have to absorb a lot of demand in that time. And obviously, its enterprise sort of side of things has recently been public, right? So small, medium businesses, large enterprises, and even just average developers can now access and leverage Quant So yeah, fantastic token absorption. We'll touch on that in just a minute. So product market fit means it's pretty much a household name. It's benefited from network effects, and it's just getting like larger and larger and larger every single day. And that's what I think it'll happen between those two timeframes. We fast forward over to HBAR. Now, Hedera is in a highly competitive market where choosing between layer ones poses a serious dilemma for enterprises. Now, it's product market fit. I'm saying 2030 to 2040 plus, and I believe it'll be worth somewhere in the multi billions of dollars. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be, at least in my opinion, from what I'm guessing, again, we're talking like many years in the future. I believe QNT will have just a much larger market simply because, again, as I reiterate over here, I mean, HBAR is essentially saying, hey, if you want to leverage some sort of decentralized ledger technology, okay, and you want to somehow have your little closed off business, or again, in the public sector, the government agencies, you want to have your own sort of place where you can track all the data, okay, again, have it secured online essentially. Well, you have your different solutions, but we can offer that. Whereas you can see the inherent issue there. It has to be chosen, right? It has to be looked at as, okay, well, it's a serious dilemma for enterprises. They might have to ponder that for a while and ultimately choose something else because they might have a connection with Algorand, for example, or with Solana, or whatever it might be, right? Because connections matter. And in my opinion, Quant definitely outshines Hedera in this case because Quant is looking like it's going to be adopted on a mass scale. And it says, hey, you know, agencies, governments, you guys can do your own damn thing. Find your own blockchain or hashgraph or DAG, right? And so you enterprises, you choose your own blockchain, DAG, whatever it may be. But don't worry, we got you guys covered. We'll just connect you. Simple as that. And so that is the real unlock with Quant in this case, okay? And is why I believe its product market fit will be reached earlier and much larger than HBAR, okay? But nevertheless, I want to just say for the record, you know, both of these projects capture really good token demand, value, right? Absorption. Let's talk about some of these examples. Again, 10 out of 10. So in the case of Quant, it actually charges enterprise license fees. So it's actually $100 per year per employee. As enterprises scale, so does Quant. So if you're an enterprise, right, like Oracle, that has like 400, well, let's just say 30,000, employees, for example, right? Well, that's 30,000 by 100 just to have the license fee. Then also, what I don't mention here is they actually factor in how much demand there's going to be on the network from its customers. So as these enterprises grow, so does the requirement for the QNT token. We also have platform dev, user, and consumption fees, right? This is annual or even monthly fees to access the network in some capacity, and also purchasing of the map. So hold QNT out of circulation to create a multi-chain application, which is like the business models or the businesses that can be built on top of Quant leveraging any network on the ecosystem essentially, right? So 10 out of 10, you need the QNT token for everything, and not just need it, it's like going to be used a lot, okay? And again, 10 out of 10 for HBAR, right? So their sort of enterprise solution is their Hedera consensus service or their private network where the token is required to establish the networks itself and use for the fees and pay the nodes for rewards. The public side of things as well, so the actual public Hedera network that we can all access, right? HBAR is used in every capacity for transactions, the Hedera token service creation, storage, you guys damn name it, okay? And data collection for the mirror node network, right? So collect data from the public ledger, you must actually pay in the fee. So the interesting thing about HBAR and why I love it is they've thought about every damn thing. If you're a business and you want to just extract the data provided by other enterprises or by the public network on Hedera, you can just extract that at the mirror nodes, but you do need to pay HBAR for that, right? So if you want to get a better ecosystem or a better product, again, you can leverage that, like IoT sensors and things like that will love that sort of thing, okay? So again, you need the HBAR token in every step of the way. That's why they're 10 out of 10, okay? So before I kind of give you my price predictions and my overall answer, I want to touch on the connections because, as I say all the time, it's not just what you know, okay? It's not just the quality of your product and kind of what you offer that's better than competitors. It's also who you know. And this is very important because, like in the Algorand example I mentioned 2 seconds ago with Hedera, you might have the better tech, but a government body or an enterprise might choose to use your blockchain or solution simply because they've used to work with the same founder and things like that. This happens all too often in life, okay? So this page is so important to know, okay? Now we'll start off with Quant, right? So Quant actually has a powerhouse in the CEO and founder itself, 𝗡cie𝗿𝗩𝗡𝗩. He's worked within the UK and Australian governments. Okay, so lots of connections formed here. He's also worked at MasterCard, HSBC, and a hell of a lot more before, right, in the private sector, and established blockchain standard ISO 𝗡cie𝗿𝗡𝗩𝗡, who is still someone who looks after that sort of standard in the committee and things like that. So yes, this guy is damn well connected in this space, okay? Partners like Oracle, BIS, which is massive. This is the central bank of all central banks, and they might actually have a really good thorough connection with these guys, which means Quant's going to be used in at least, definitely a handful of nations and economies all around the world. UST and also LACchain, very, very big partners. We move over to the HBAR though, and these guys get pretty crazy too, right? So this list is just some of their governing council members, right? And it's the ones I've circled here are some of the more prominent ones. Now, the governing council is a bit different to, you say other networks in the economy or in the ecosystem, essentially. Well, they'll have some sort of prominent, Google, for example, becoming a node on the network, right? The governing council members definitely are nodes on the network. They have to establish a node to become a governing council member. But the governing council members themselves govern the direction of Hedera. Okay, so every single one of these people or these sort of enterprises you see on your screen have a say in the direction of Hedera, which means they have to actually care. And therefore, what's happening, what's strengthening behind the scenes is the connections being made between Hedera and all these other sort of players in the space, okay? So they get access to the best minds in diverse locations and industries all around the world. Now, this list does not include Hedera's partners, their actual partners, right? Which offer even more expertise. So they recently had the recent Hedera sort of meetup in the Google headquarters themselves, okay? So obviously Google had to host that. So what's that saying, guys? I mean, you just imagine in the future when Hedera wants to go and target a specific market, they're going to have all the connections. Again, it's not what you know always, it's who you know. And that's why Hedera is awesome for this, okay? Don't get me wrong, of course, Quant, I mean, even this one by itself is just like next level sort of stuff, right? So let me actually give you the answer to the video, okay? And we'll do this through the price prediction sheet. This is strictly for 2025, guys, not the future. So on the QNT side, I'm going to say a minimum of $1,500 to $2,000. Again, minimum between these two ranges. And at the $1,500 level, I'm going to say the market cap will be $21 billion, okay? So that kind of puts in some numbers in your head. And the max side of things, I think will go to $5,000 to $10,000. And just for some perspective, a $5,000 Quant token will be a $70 billion market cap, okay? So yeah, we're talking about a lot of demand coming through here, but ultimately, because of its low supply, it can definitely happen. Now let's look at HBAR, okay? So minimum side of things, I think 50 cents to 69 cents, market cap going at the 50 cent level to $18 billion, okay? And over here to the max side, I think $1.50 to $3, and at the $1.5 level, it'll be about a $54 billion market cap. So quite obviously, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or Albert Einstein to figure out. I'm pretty much betting that Quant is going to be the better sort of value for money in 2025. Essentially, $1,000 will definitely make you a lot more with Quant than it will with HBAR, in my opinion. Again, it just is capturing a hell of a lot of more demand. It's capturing the entire world, essentially, if it goes to as far as what we think it will, economy, if it does get passed, right? Now, Hedera, of course, is a fantastic network. I'm not saying it isn't. It's my number one holding, that's for sure. So I definitely love it, but stats don't lie. And with the recent progression in Quant and its partnerships being publicized, yeah, guys, I'm really, really bullish on this bad boy for 2025. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you want to learn more about Quant, press the video over here and HBAR, the video to your right. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Take care. Bye.